Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing a question from Pathfinder, Challenge your understanding of rotational kinematics. Let's get started. The question says, a lamp is attached to the circumference of a horizontal disc that is sliding on a frictionless horizontal floor in the dark room. The lamp emits sharp light pulses at a different regular intervals of tau is equals to 1 second. Color changes repeatedly in a sequence that is red, green, yellow, blue and purple. Mass center of the lamp and its power supply coincides with the center of disk. In a particular time interval, locations where the four pulses are observed are given in the graph. So now we have to calculate the radius of the disk and the velocity c of the center of mass. तो इस क्वेश्चन को करने का हमें जो तरीका अडॉप्ट करना है वो है, जो मेन आइडियाज़ है वो है इसमें जियोमेट्री. You have to get the feel of how the geometry will be applied in this problem. So when I first encountered this problem, तो मैंने सोचा था कि अब ये जो रेड है, ये रेड है, फिर उसके बाद ग्रीन आया, फिर येलो और ब्लू. ये देखेंगे तो एकदम सिमेट्रिकल जैसा लग रहा है कि रेड, उसके बाद ग्रीन, ये एकदम, और येलो और रेड के मिड पॉइंट वाले वाई एक्सिस पर आ गया, मतलब उनका ऑर्डिनेट का मिड पॉइंट पे आ गया ग्रीन और ब्लू. तो मैंने सोचा कि हो सकता है कि ये डिस्क कुछ ऐसा टाइप का हो, और एट दैट फर्स्ट टाइम रेड इज़ हियर and then the disk should move anti-clockwise. This is another thing to note, that disk moves anti-clockwise since the sequence is given red, then green, then yellow and blue. So we can say that the disk will rotate like this. First it will be red, then it will be green, then it will be yellow, then it will be blue. Thus we can say the disk will rotate, then it will be, here it will be green, then yellow, then blue, and the time interval given is tau is equals to 1 seconds. So we can say, I said that omega is equals to pi by 2 tau, which is equals to 0.5 pi radians per second. अब अगर रेडियस पूछे तो मैंने क्या किया था कि मैंने जो रेड और येलो का वाई कोऑर्डिनेट का डिफरेंस मैंने निकाल के डिवाइड बाई 2 किया, क्योंकि मैंने अज्यूम किया था कि ये मेरा सर्कल पूरा ऐसे टाइप का कवर कर जाए. इट वुड लुक लाइक समथिंग लाइक दिस. ओके, वो दोनों एक्स वाई इक्वल टू 10 और वाई इक्वल टू 0 के रिस्पेक्ट में ये टेंजेंट हो जाएगा सर्कल. तो यहाँ से मुझे आर इज इक्वल, आर का जो वैल्यू आया था वो आया था 5 सेंटीमीटर्स. टू फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ वी सी, what I did was I found the difference between the x coordinates of the blue and the green points, which I got to be 14, and between these 2 points, with respect to the disk, the light source had moved 2r and the disk had moved Vc into 2 tau, and radius is 5 centimeters. Substituting the value, I get Vc is equals to 2 meter per second. Simple, but how can we, it should be 2 centimeter per second, but the thing is that how can we say that this is the unique solution to this problem? Maybe there may be another solution where it will be something like the radius will be more than the what we found, 5 centimeters, and the red, blue, yellow will not be exactly at 90 degrees, but it will be at some other angles. How can we prove that it will be the unique solutions? Now this involves a very interesting geometry. तो इसको प्रूव करने के लिए हम लोग थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर का भी यूज़ करें. अगर कोई कहे कि ये साइक्लॉइडल पाथ मान के भी प्रूव कर सकते हैं, पर तुम्हारा 4 वेरिएबल्स है, 4 वेरिएबल्स एंड साइक्लॉइड, वो भी तुम्हें पैरामेट्रिक लेना पड़ेगा. यू कैन नॉट गेट द एग्जैक्ट कार्टेशियन कोऑर्डिनेट. इवन तुम कार्टेशियन कोऑर्डिनेट्स करने भी जाओ तो बहुत ही टाइम लग जाएगा. तो बेटर नॉट टू अडॉप्ट दैट मेथड, रैदर गो टू जियोमेट्री. तो मैंने क्या किया, एक डिस्क माना, और ये मेरा रियल एक्सेस है. आई एम यूजिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर. ये मेरा रियल एक्सिस है और ये मेरा जो वाई एक्सिस है ये इमेजिनरी एक्सिस है। तो जो डिस्क है इसका इनिशियल कोऑर्डिनेट 0, r होगा। तो c कैन बी रिटन एज c एट t इक्वल टू 0 कैन बी रिटन एज r iota। c एट गिवन टाइम t कैन बी रिटन एज vc t प्लस r iota। और इनिशियली मैं मान रहा हूँ इधर रेड है, रेड में मेरा कहीं है। मान लेते हैं एक पॉइंट P है और मैंने उसका कोऑर्डिनेट्स डिफाइन किया 0,2r। तो P एट t इक्वल टू 0 मैंने 2r iota लिखा, ठीक है। इसे हम लोग क्या r iota प्लस r iota लिख सकते हैं। इसे फर्दर हम लोग C0 प्लस r iota लिख सकते हैं। बेसिकली मैं यहाँ पर कहना चाहता हूँ कि जो पॉइंट P का जो पोजीशन वेक्टर है या पोजीशन इन कॉम्प्लेक्स प्लेन है, उसे हम लोग पोजीशन ऑफ पॉइंट P एट ए गिवन टाइम कैन बी रिटन एज C एट गिवन टाइम T प्लस पोजीशन ऑफ पॉइंट P विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू C एट गिवन टाइम T। अब मान लो कि ये तुम्हारा एंटी क्लॉकवाइज घूम रहा है, तो जो रोटेशन इन द वेक्टर ऑफ पॉइंट P विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू द गिवन सेंटर C वो होगा r iota e टू द पावर iota ओमेगा t। और टाइम t में ये जो डिस्क है ये पहुंच जाएगा ct और ये पहुंच जाएगा r iota e टू द iota ओमेगा t। r iota e टू द iota ओमेगा t हम लोग pc 1 minute pc at point at time equals to 0 e to the iota omega t. So I can say that position of point P at a given time t can be written as position of point C at a given time t plus position of point C with respect to point P with respect to C at a given time 0 at initial moment e to the iota omega t. This is the key concept behind this problem. Now if we try to find P tau, we'll get C tau plus PC0 e to the iota omega tau, and P2 tau will get C tau plus C2 tau plus PC0 e to the iota omega 2 tau. And if we find the difference between the consecutive points, we'll get Vc tau. I am finding the difference between C tau and C2 tau as defined in the equation of C tau. Ct is given as C as a function of t is given as Vc plus Vc into t plus r iota, which I will get Vc tau plus Pc at time equals to 0 e to the power iota omega tau into e to the iota omega tau minus 1. Now this we can say that e to the iota omega tau is a rotating vector. If you try to find between n tau and n plus 1 tau, you will get Vc tau plus Pc0 e to the iota n omega tau into e to the iota omega tau minus 1. You can see that this is a constant vector, this is a constant vector, and this is a rotating vector, and this is also a constant vector. So if we try to join any two consecutive points of the signal, means of the source position at t and 2t, then we'll get three vectors. Okay, let's do it. And the three vector, the total is the summation of a constant vector and a product of a constant vector with a rotating vector. Getting back to the problem, so I can say that this will consider Rg. Rg is equal to minus 3 minus 5 iota. Now gy is equal to minus 5 iota, and it will be 7 minus 5 iota, and yb is equal to 7 plus 5 iota. Now we'll be trying to plot it in GeoGebra. We can also plot it using just simply using paper and pen, but I prefer GeoGebra here. Now I have brought all the points in GeoGebra, and you can see that I have taken all the vectors. One is minus DC denotes the minus 3 comma minus 5, DA denotes plus 7 comma minus 5, and DB denotes plus 7 comma plus 5. So if we draw the circumcircle of ABC, we'll get the midpoint, which will be the center of the circle. Now let me draw a circumcircle here. Just a minute. I have drawn the circumcircle, and you can see that the circumcircle equation is x minus 2 whole square plus y minus y square is equals to 50. So the center is 2 comma 0, and we already discussed in previous section that the distance between the center and the initial point, that is point D, which is the origin, is equal to the VC into tau. So I can say that VC into tau is equals to distance between D and center of the circle, which will be 2 units. So VC is equals to 2 meter per second. So now I am taking a screenshot to export it in the note so that I can explain you. So now you can see that I have taken it in my notepad. I have defined D as to be the initial point 0, with respect to which I will be drawing the consecutive vectors. I can take B to be 7 comma 5, A to be 7 comma minus 5, and C to be minus 3 comma minus 5. Interestingly, we get ABC as a right triangle. We know that the right triangle has a circumcircle with circumcenter at its midpoint. So the circumcenter will be 7 plus minus 3 by 2 comma 5 minus 5 by 2, which will come out to be 2 comma 0. Thus this point is 2 comma 0. K is 2 comma 0. Now we already investigated dk is nothing but Vc into tau, which is equals to 2. Vc is equals to 2 meter per second. First thing we get. Also we analyzed that the radius of the circle is a constant vector, that is x into e to the iota omega t minus 1. If we try to take the magnitude, we'll get 2 sine omega tau by 2 into x, or you can say simply radius r is equals to the radius of the circle, which will come out to be 5 root 2. And another thing to note, that this we have drawn a line with center of the circle to point A, that is at right angle, and this is 45 degree, so this will be 90 degree. So the successive time interval between two vectors is pi by 2. I can say that omega tau is equals to pi by 2. As discussed previously, this is a rotating vector. So after n equals to 1 means after successive times it will rotate by omega tau. So omega tau will be nothing but pi by 2. From here omega will get 0.5 pi radians per seconds. Substituting pi by 2 as omega tau, will get root 2 sine pi by 4 r is equals to 5 root 2. 2 sine pi by 4 is equals to 5 root 2. Root 2 r is equals to 5 root 2, and radius will be 5 centimeter, and that's the answer. So we analyze this problem very carefully, and using geometry, this becomes a very easy and interesting problem. Though the problem level difficulty is very hard, I would rate it as 3 star. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a nice day.